Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named JustBro Sing in the relationship advice subreddit. The post is titled, "I'm being held hostage at my parents' place and I don't know what to do. I have been living in Australia for the last 4 years. Last month I fractured my hand and had to undergo surgery. My parents wanted me to take sick leave and come to India to get it fixed. Their reasoning, it would be very expensive to get it fixed here and it would be easier to have someone to take care of me. I understand their concern, but I wanted to be able to fix things where possible. I suggested I talk to the doctors and explore my options before I decided to fly to India. After talking to the doctors, I realized that it was cheaper to stay here and get the surgery as my insurance covered most of it. I didn't want to go to India for various reasons. First, I want to have the chance to try and fix things by myself wherever possible. Second, I had some major changes happening at work and I wanted to be around for that. And lastly, my father has been looking into various marriage proposals for me, even though I have made it abundantly clear that I don't want an arranged marriage. I've been planning to tell them about my non-Indian boyfriend and didn't want to go there until I had done that. Also, I came back from India after a month-long vacation in November, so it's not like I hadn't seen them in a long time. When I called my father to tell him that I wanted to get the surgery done here, he blew up. He screamed at me for 10 minutes saying things like, "You have absolutely zero sense. You always assume you know best. Just because you've got a little bit of money, you think you can handle everything yourself. Of course, you don't even care if we're dead or alive. You'd rather cut all contact with your family because you prefer this independent life. We don't have any right to take care of our own family members now. Yeah, sure, stay with the people you call friends there, because they're above your family to you now, and finally, let us know if you even want us in your life anymore." And he blocked me after that. This was 4 weeks ago. I got the surgery done and haven't heard from them at all. I called my mother 3 times, but she hasn't picked up. My brother is getting mad at me for not making more of an effort to reach out to them, but honestly, I'm furious too. They had concerns about me getting the surgery done here, and I found solutions to address their concerns. They still insisted I come to India, which makes me believe that all they care about is control. They wanted me to come to India to make things easier for me, but when I decided to have the surgery done here, they didn't hesitate to add more stress to my life. Also, it's their anniversary in a couple of days, and I might not get the chance to wish them. I'm working hard to be a strong, independent woman, and I want to have the best possible relationship with my parents. But I'm afraid that having that kind of relationship would mean giving up a lot of control over my own life. Edit, wow, this blew up. I wasn't expecting this post to reach so many people. Thank you so much everyone for your comments, I really appreciate it. I'm going through them and I'll try to reply to everyone, but it might take a little time. I saw a lot of comments suggesting that they might try to marry me off when I go back. I don't think they can force me into a marriage, and surely any self-respecting guy wouldn't want to marry someone who doesn't want him, right? I don't even know anymore. I just knew there would be a lot of emotional drama, manipulation, and whatnot if I refused to meet potential suitors, and I didn't want to be there in such a vulnerable condition dealing with that. Update. Taking into account a couple of comments and a DM, maybe the term hostage is too extreme of a word, and I apologize, it wasn't meant as clickbait, but I was extremely emotional when I wrote this. I'm a 28-year-old Indian woman and I'm so exhausted from fighting. I'm writing this on my phone in a very emotional state, so apologies if it isn't well formatted or well written. 3 years ago, I made a post about how my family stopped talking to me because I didn't travel back to my home country to get my surgery done. Well, things never really got better. I started talking to them maybe a year after my surgery when they reached out, and it wasn't great. All we did was fight, and any cordial exchanges were surface-level conversations with no real value, basically just how's work going, what did you eat, and so on. Last year, they showed up in Australia out of the blue, and I didn't handle that well. My partner and I met them, but suffice it to say, they weren't very happy. Coming back to today, I came to visit them in India, spending 1 week with my partner who stayed with us, and then 2 weeks without him, since they were adamant that they only wanted to spend time with me. I was eager to work on our relationship because I do want to get married and eventually have the option of having children, and I can't really or don't want to do that without them being involved in my life. I'm dating an Australian man, 28, and we've been together for over 5 years. They came up with an excuse so that we couldn't stay with them together, but they did meet us for lunch on the day my partner was leaving. Ever since I started staying with them, they've been insisting that I extend my trip. I've made it very clear that I can't, and we've had multiple fights about it, one of which ended with my dad saying I'm essentially filth, that I live in filth, and that he can't believe he's been loving filth this entire time. They've been taking me around to visit relatives and didn't let me leave on the day I was supposed to fly back. I've cried so much while talking to them, but apparently the plan is always whatever they want from me. They've said I'm not allowed to leave anymore because, according to them, I've become a very negative person and they're worried about me. They told me that the Australian chapter of my life is closed and that I'm staying here from now on. I'm so scared and I really don't know how to deal with this situation. I'm looking for advice from anyone at all. I want to leave, but I'm worried they're going to stand guard at the door from now on and won't let me walk out. My brother is physically bigger and stronger than me, and he's not on my side either. Final update. Thank you everyone for all your concern, suggestions, and for giving me hope. I didn't want to update sooner because it occurred to me quite late that there's a small possibility my brother uses Reddit. The chances of him coming across this post were slim, but I didn't want to risk it. In short, I ended up running away from home. I'm still wondering if the decision I made was too extreme for the situation, but I think I'll go crazy if I keep going down that rabbit hole. A couple of my friends had a mutual friend, someone I met last month but was hesitant to reach out to since he's a fairly recent acquaintance in a town 3 hours away. So my boyfriend and my friends helped plan my getaway. I was constantly surrounded by my relatives and parents while they made plans for me, but for everyone reading this, I am of sound mind. And the decision to do this was entirely mine. I snuck out the night we got back from visiting relatives under the pretext of going for a walk, though I knew they'd probably discover I was gone not long after I left. My friend was waiting in his car near my place and he drove me to the airport. It worked out perfectly because booking a cab would have been tricky timing-wise. I didn't know when exactly it would be safe to sneak out, so having a friend nearby gave me the flexibility to leave at my own convenience. The priority was to get out of the country as soon as possible, even without knowing the best route back to Australia. The timing was wild given the whole Indigo fiasco. I'm still not sure whether it helped or hurt my chances. I was only able to pull this off because of the incredible support from my friends back home, who spent a lot of time planning the routes and booking flights for me in a way that wouldn't arouse my family's suspicion and would give them very little time to react. I've received messages and a few calls from my family. All I've done is text them that leaving was my decision, explain a few reasons why, and say that I'd be open to rebuilding our relationship if they can learn to accept my life choices. Thank you again to everyone, especially those who reached out to make sure I'm okay. User Nurse Penelope said, I love the friend of a friend who didn't really know her but drove 3 hours to pick her up in the middle of the night to get her to the airport. What a good person. I hope he has an amazing life. User Serene Adler said, these people are cut from the same cloth as honor-killing parents. Their children are possessions, just extensions of themselves. She needs to stay the hell away from them forever. They'll try to kidnap her again if given any opportunity. And God forbid she has children and they ever get within a continent of her parents. This next story was made in the What Do I Do subreddit by a user named Brave Locksmith. The post is titled, I saw a girl I used to date today and now I really want to call her. Male, 40. I met this girl on an app about 4 years ago and we dated for about a year. She was amazing, a single mom going through a divorce with an awesome kid. A few months into dating, we discovered that her ex was engaged and expecting a child with an old friend of mine from high school. We realized this one night while scrolling through my Facebook. I had one photo of the two of us together, which I took down right away, and we decided to keep our relationship off social media. Somehow, her ex found out that she was seeing a guy who also knew his current fiancé. He went from being an absent dad and ex who didn't pay child support to a complete raging maniac who set out to make our lives hell, and ended up making his son suffer too. One night, he showed up at her place while I was there and completely lost it. The next day, she told me it wasn't my fault or hers, but it was all too much and she couldn't do it anymore. Because of what her son was going through, I chose not to fight it. I said my goodbye and went my own way. For the past 3 years, I've been sending Christmas and birthday gifts to her and her son without including my name. Every year, I've received a thank you text, but we haven't really spoken otherwise. Today, I happened to be in her town and spotted her and her son while I was getting gas. They didn't see me and I didn't know what to do, so I just kept going, but now I'm filled with regret and I really want to call her. I've dated since then, but she set the bar pretty high. I haven't met anyone I feel that strongly about. Should I call her, see if she's still single? Maybe the situation has changed. Update. So, update, I called, she texted back, and we're getting together this evening and again for lunch tomorrow. We've been chatting through text and over the phone all day, had a pretty serious discussion, and it turns out we're both on the same page about what we want. She has full custody of her son. Her ex somewhat pays child support, they could manage without it, and he's mostly left them alone in peace. Her ex will eventually find out that we're back together, but we're unsure if he'll cause problems again or if he's moved on with his life. So if we pick things back up where we left off, do we wait for the ex to find out and see what happens? Or should I or we go to him and his current partner, who I don't think knows the past, and be upfront? In the past, there were many times we probably should have called the police, but we didn't. He never physically touched anyone, though he did threaten me. I'm not worried about that part. We decided not to call the police then for the child's sake and in the hope that he'd be better to his new family. So, do I go tell him or him and his partner that we're together, that nothing he can do will change that, and that if there's even the slightest problem again, we will go to the police this time? I'm also open to other suggestions. If we move forward, the lack of child support wouldn't be an issue. The son has been nothing but amazing to me, and I'd be happy to help support him. We just want to be left in peace to live our lives. Update. We discussed everything last night, and for now, we've decided to keep things quiet. He'll find out eventually, and if he acts up, we already have all our documentation ready to go to the police. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.